Hello everyone, today I am going to discuss a new cue card that is about storytelling, a story that someone told you and you still remember. The cue card topic is describe a story someone told you and you remember. कोई story किसी ने तुहानू सुनाई होवे that you still remember. The follow-ups are what the story was about. Story वो किस बारे सी, किस चीज़ दे सी, किस topic दे सी. Like it can be a fairy tale, fictional story. It may have a historical background or religious background, or it can be a personal story of any person. किसी दी personal anecdote means किसी दी personal story भी हो सकती है. Next is who told you this story. So you have to say who the person was who told you this story. कौन सी का जिसने तो ये story सुनाई. Next, why you remember it. What is so special, what is so intriguing about that story that you still remember it. ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ उस story ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ what the message of that story was. ਕੀ ਅਜਿਹਾ message ਸੀਗਾ ਕਿ ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇੰਨਾ intriguing, interesting ਸੀ that you still remember it. How you feel about it, and in this question you have to describe your feelings, that how you feel about it. Your feelings can be like I feel motivated, inspired whenever I recall this story, or when I was listening this story also I got the goosebumps. I found a paradigm shift in my life. I found a change in my life or in my thinking, my viewpoint, my perspective. So this is how you can describe your feelings. Next is the opening lines that we can use. First one is storytelling is the most powerful way to put ideas into the world today. Means storytelling एक अजिहा तरीका है through which we can put our ideas or imaginations into the real world. आप अपनी real world ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ अपनी imaginations ਨੂੰ अपनी ideas ਨੂੰ किवें depict कर सकते हैं. So storytelling is a way of this thing. So this line you can use for if you are going to describe any fairy tale, any like fictional story. Next one is stories live forever if only we tell them. Stories the stories can only live forever if we used to tell them. अगर ਅਸੀਂ दूसरे ਨੂੰ stories सुनाते हैं ਤਾਂ ही stories can live forever. So this line you can also use. Next is true learning is remembering. True learning की है that the things that we remember only. सिखना ਤਾਂ ही फायदेमंद हो सकता है. It can only be beneficial if we remember those things. So this opening line you can also use. Next come towards a vocabulary that you can use. First one is tale. Tale means story. So instead of story you can use the word tale. Here I am going to describe a tale that I listened in my childhood and I still remember it clearly or vividly. Next is anecdote. Anecdote means a personal story. So you can say that here I am going to describe an anecdote of my uncle or aunt that I listened in my childhood and I still remember it. Recall, recollect, remind means remember. Whenever I feel like distressed, I used to recall this story, this motivational or inspirational story. So I feel myself energetic or I get some confidence in me. Next is vaguely. Vaguely means not clearly. I do not remember it vaguely or I remember it vaguely. मैनू means थोड़ा थोड़ा याद है. I remember it vaguely means मैनू पूरा clearly याद नहीं है. I remember it vaguely or vividly. I clearly remember it means I vividly remember this story. Means मैनू पूरी तरह याद है story है. Forgotten, etched in memory. Unforgotten or etched in memories. Unforgotten means something that is unforgettable, that you can remember for the whole life. So this is a kind of story that is unforgotten for me. This will always etched in my memories means it will always remain in my memories. Next word is engrossing, fascinating or gripping. This is very engrossing story. Gripping story means very interesting, very engaging. बहुत ज़्यादा तुसी engage हो जाते हो तो ਤੁਹਾਡਾ interest बन जाता है while listening this story. Usually, routinely or frequently. In my childhood, I usually listen this story from my grandmother, from my father or mother. Routinely means daily, on the daily basis. Frequently, routinely or usually. Next is all ears. All ears means attentively. I used to listen this story all ears. Means मैं पूरी attentively ये story सुनता सी या सुनती सी. Next is stand in a good stead, to be useful. This story stands in a good stead for me. It always stands in a good stead for me means it always depicts be very useful for me, because whenever I feel low, I feel distressed, this message gives me a kind of inspiration. So that's why this always stands in a good stead for me. In a real pickle or a perfect storm means in difficult situations, whenever I am or I feel myself in a real pickle, or whenever I face a perfect storm. So this message reminds me something, or this message gives me courage or inspiration. So this is how you can use this phrase. Next is stimulating, inspiring or motivating. So this is really very stimulating, inspiring or motivating. Stimulating means ਜਿਹੜੀ ਚੀਜ਼ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ stimulate ਕਰਦੀ ਹੈ, inner motivation ਦਿੰਦੀ ਹੈ to do something or to go for something. Next is shake up. Shake up means bring change. This shake up my mentality or my way of thinking. It brought a change in my way of thinking. It always shake up me. Paradigm shift means a very great change. It brought a paradigm shift in my life when I firstly listened that story. So this is how you can use these vocabulary words in order to prepare this cue card, that is a story someone told you and you remember. Okay, thank you.